All right, we're recording. Good. Welcome. Behavioral Health Clinic group session with Janice. I'm Tom McQuaid. I'm here with Janice. Say hi.
One.
Hey, hello to everybody. So, first things first. When did you start watching?
I watched the first one that I watched was the last episode of season 5.
Okay.
And that was right before the live of season 6. I caught the very end of that and the very beginning of the other one. So
Okay.
it caught my interest, and then I bought the DVDs and I watched the rest of the seasons.
Okay, cool.
And the first live one that I watched was season 7.
First live was season 7.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems to be a lot of people kind of, I know, like Kurt, I got a few friends that's about when they got into, and I was, screaming it from the hilltops the whole time. But
yeah.
Did you read any of the books?
I did not. I've not read or heard them. But I have a couple friends who have recommended it, so
Yeah,
it's on my list.
Yeah, I have, and I highly recommend it. Do you think that that Martin's going to actually finish the?
I do.
Books?
I have faith that he'll get it done. I do. I think he'll finish.
Yeah,
yeah.
I hope so. I really do. I think this is the biggest market boy. I think he could sell the most books ever right now. He just got so much free advertisement because
right?
people are his is the same as everybody else's, or of the Benny whatever D&D double D's whatever they call. What was your favorite episode of all the episodes?
My favorite episode, I have to say this was really hard for me to pick just one. But I think overall my favorite episode was definitely season 8, episode 2. It was very heartfelt. There was a lot of comic relief. And set their differences aside. It didn't matter what house you belonged to. It didn't matter who you fought for. Everyone came together in that episode. And it was like, it sucked you in and got you really emotional before a lot of damage was about to happen,
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic as well. I definitely, it's in my top. I think it was my favorite of this entire season for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. I really do agree.
I really like the Battle of the Bastards, mainly because of how it did draw you in. And I know that this makes me sound really sick and twisted, but I think Ramsay got the best death out of all of the villains, and it was satisfying, With
the dogs getting them, Sansa sicking the dogs on them, that was awesome. That was
Justice, really cool. It was.
Yeah, I agree. That was pretty. I agree that it makes you sound sick. So, what was your favorite season?
My favorite season, I go between two. I go through the end of season 3 and the very beginning of season 4. I feel like that's when things really started to take a twist. From the Red Wedding, I feel like it really drew you in emotionally. Like, oh my gosh, okay, yes, anything could happen through all of them, but like that was the first big like heartbreak,
Right.
And in season 4, when Joffrey died, I feel like it really drew you in. Like, okay, so the bad characters get theirs too. It's not just.
And you had in season 4, you also had the Viper get his head crushed.
Right.
Remember? Yeah, that was a great. So I really agree. I think you are 100% spot on. That's exactly the end of the season 3, 4, 5, and 6 to me are really just fantastic.
Right.
And but all right, I'm going to do my questions later with somebody else. I'll have them interview me, so I'll get into mine. This isn't about me. This is about you. Shut your big mouth, Tom. Okay, so I agree. I agree. Those episodes or season was very good. So top 5 characters, 5 to 1.
Oh, this is really hard. This is really
very
hard. You think of literally all of the characters, but I chose 5 that stood out to me the most, I'll say. Number 5 for me is Lady Tyrell, Olenna.
Really?
Yes. She ruled her kingdom for a really long time. Everything she did went under the radar until she was ready to reveal it. Her killing Joffrey, nobody knew that. Nobody to until she was ready to reveal that. And on top of that, no matter when or where she was, she stood up for herself. She was never afraid to speak her mind to Cersei. She was never afraid of any repercussions of any of her actions, you know. And she also had like good-hearted grandchildren that came from her, you know.
Yeah, that was a cool. That's a cool pick. I really like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thanks. And then number 4 for me is Ned Stark. I know that he first of all, he was the first character that you were really like, what? Like, okay, anything can happen. Main character, you're like, okay, he just died. Like, what? But it also, his loyalty and how good he was, it really shows through, not just through him, but through all of his kids. You know, they all made good-hearted decisions, even though Robb ended up dying. Because of him, Theon still fought for the Starks. I know he had a couple seasons there where he was not so great and not well liked, but then, you know, at the end, all of his children that were living, they're running the show. You know, you got Bran, who's the king, you got Sansa, who's running the North and kept it independent.
Right.
Arya, who's still doing her own thing and has through everything, and Jon Snow, who, even though he wasn't his by blood technically, was raised by him and lived his life according to how he lived. So
Right.
I think
Set the show. He really, well, that's parts of the show, I guess, but he really did set the tone, I think.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, number 3.
Number 3 for me is the Hound.
I mean, I can get it.
Yeah, he really was good, and he cared about people, the good people. He was made to look like a bad guy when he fought for the Lannisters under Jon.
Well, it was a paradigm shift, right? So he didn't really care about people at all, right?
Right.
And then I think when he was with Arya, I think Arya and Sansa kind of made him start to see some humanity.
Right.
But I think the point where it really shifted was whenever he's with Arya and he took those people's gold or silver and he said they were dead anyway. And she got on him about it, and he kind of looked back. It was the first time he ever like questioned his whole self, and I seen the paradigm of him, that character arc totally shift down.
True.
You know what I mean? Or up, which way you want. So great pick. I agree.
Yeah, because he did. I think I agree. He definitely did. Like, he saved Sansa in all the situations when she was running from those people who were trying to rape her and stuff like that, and then in a couple situations with Joffrey, you know.
Right.
So I think ultimately, you know, and then he even at the end gave props to Brienne after they fought, you know, wasn't like he was mad or anything. He was like, hey, you held your own, you know.
Well, if you don't like it, you're a bloody cunt.
Right.
All right, number 2.
Number 2 for me is Tyrion. I think there's a lot that you can hate but love about him. I mean, he should have died so many times from so many different characters, and he talked his way out of it every single time, and he had good strategy. I mean, I definitely think there were some questionable ones when he was with Daenerys and following her, as far as like his loyalty to her or the Lannisters, but ultimately his thinking kept him going, and one kid wanted to throw him out that storm door or whatever. You want to make him.
Yeah. How many times did he get arrested or you know, and then about to die and made it through?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
he's greasy.
Yeah, exactly. Like.
Yeah.
And for me, number 1 is Arya. I hate to be cliche with that, but I mean,
yeah, that's
just badass. I mean, she from the moment Ned Stark died, and even before that, she went against the grain. You know, she was a girl, should have been a lady, and she was the one shooting the arrows when Bran couldn't hit the mark. And after he died, she completely was on her own. I mean, she was this little girl. Everybody
for years.
Yeah. And she made through the entire way on her own, you know, and in the end, I mean, and she stood up for her family through and through from day one. The only thing I think I would have wish that she would have had an opportunity was to use other people's faces more.
Yeah, the Walter Frey payoff. I mean, that they put a lot of stuff in just to have that.
Right, right.
Like, I don't know. There's a few things I've seen like that, and like they build up the White Walkers just to have them gone basically in one episode.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that I kind of wish they would have paid off better, and that one was definitely one of them. Or at least have her kill the Night King with
right
face or something.
Right.
Somehow work that in. Like
right. I agree.
Acting like Bran or something, and that's
right.
how she killed him. That would have been better. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, so that's a good top 5. I have to say, I mean, couldn't disagree with any single one of those choices. Great picks. Okay, so did you like this season?
I did like this season for what it was, taking away from the fact that they didn't have the book to follow, and they did it on their own. As a whole, do I think there were things that could have changed? Absolutely. Like, I think that certain.
All right, hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get
okay.
to the part. Okay, so what do you, out of 4 stars, where do you rate this season?
Out of 4 stars, I would say a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the ending, the finale? How did you like the finale?
I liked the finale. I will say that I was completely thrown off by Bran.
Snitching ass Bran.
I just think he's such a boring character, and he really didn't.
Worst character in the books.
A lot of the table, but at the same time, it was unexpected. I was not expecting it to ever go that direction. And I think at this point, maybe this is the calm that the world needs after such crazy chaos.
It makes the most sense because he's seen every mistake every single person's ever made. So it does make sense. I get it. I hate it, but I get it.
Right.
Okay, exactly. So what would you change? One thing you would change.
The only thing I would change in this last season is giving each of the main characters more of their own moments. Like Cersei dying with Jaime. I feel like her death scene could have been so much better. I get it.
Oh, it's perfect. It was perfect.
Though I hate that she got to be with him at the end. Like, she should have died alone, and it should have been somebody got to kill her. I'm sorry. I know you're a Cersei fan. I just
you got so evil. So evil. Don't you see the poeticness of it though?
Like how Daenerys, how Jon Snow got to stab her, and then you felt that sadness from.
I think she should have got it way worse.
Like,
fuck, she killed a whole city.
But that was so unexpected. Yeah. And so did
it's unexpected. Yeah, I've just been saying I'm going to get it with fire and blood for fucking 6 seasons.
No.
But it's unexpected. Oh my god, how did a dragon go burn everything?
Her death was unexpected.
Oh, whatever, Jan. All right. So, well, you got 3 minutes. So, everybody's getting a rant at the end.
Okay.
This is your time. This is your 3 minutes. You can spend it any way you want. And that 3 minutes starts now.
Okay. I don't have a long rant. All I will say is that the dragons and the dire wolves have always been my favorites. I am so glad that at least Drogon got to live. I was very sad when the other 2 died. The dire wolves, I loved them too. I thought they were just amazing creatures. I do wish that Nymeria would have made another appearance with Arya at some point. But I think my biggest thing is you can't knock the villains here. I mean, the actors did such a good job of portraying these people that you hated, and we all hated them. I mean, from Viserys, you hated him in the way he treated Daenerys.
What? I loved Viserys.
I hate him, but I played his part well. You got Joffrey, Ramsay, Littlefinger, Euron.
Littlefinger was great. Cersei
he was great. But at certain points, he was just downright bad, But they all played their characters perfectly, and and same for all of the supporting characters: Missandei, Grey Worm, Varys, the Dornish ladies, Bronn, Podrick. They all brought their own way into the show, and it made it what it was. I'm glad that they had all of those people that made you just continue to want to see what's going to happen. And I do agree. I am sad that it's over. I wish it was a really great show. I do wish that they would have been able to find a way to keep it going, but
yeah. Man, I'm bummed out. I am.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. I'm going to keep the group going because there's going to be rerun or prequels and spin-offs and all that, and we'll still be able to have fun. I just wish we had started it sooner. That's all.
I agree. And I hope if they do with the spin-offs, I just hope they either can keep the same actors as characters, or that it doesn't get too cheesy, or that they take a different route.
Well, at least they're put the same amount of effort. You know what I mean? Like if you put the same amount of effort, really, this is your minute, but I want to see Robert Baratheon's revolt.
The Mad King and
him over the usurping of the Mad King. That would be awesome to see him and Ned as young men.
Right. And more dragons.
What's that?
I said, and more dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that would be cool. But I'll take anything they give us. So all right. Well, that was fun. I'm glad you got on because you're one of the shy ones, and I was working. Get on Missy. Look, tell her 15 minutes. That's all it took. She could do it. She could do it with the baby. I want to see the baby, so I'm trying to get her to. I don't care. Say, she could be holding that baby. I don't in one hand and the phone in the other.
I'll let her know.
So get on her. Make sure she does it. So.
All right.
And Josh too. Anybody else? Any one of your friends? I don't know anybody else in the group. Get on them. So I need to hear from everybody else. Everybody heard my big mouth for forever. So, all right, Jen. It was nice. Chatting with you.
Yeah.
This is Behavioral Health Clinics Group Therapy. I'm Tom McQuaid for Janice. We're out.